Although there are no supernatural changes that occur as the calendar turns to January 1, the start of a new year may provide a psychological lift to those in the fight game. The top competitors to watch in the UFC in 2022 are individuals that want to advance and fulfill their potential. Whether last year finished with a bang or a whimper, these men are trained to go out there and make things happen. Most of the UFC fighters that are expected to have a breakout year in 2022 will be familiar to you. However, there may be a handful that aren't currently on the radar. In today's video, we'll take a look at the top 10 fighters to watch in the UFC this year in no particular order. Number 1. Islam Makhachev. To begin, there is a case to be made for Makhachev breaking through in 2021. I understand it. The Dagestani shut down Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, and Dan Hooker to have the best year of his career. Given the hype around the 30-year-old, you could argue that 2022 will be the year when he finally is at ease at the top table. It must be difficult to be hailed as the inevitable successor to possibly the greatest UFC fighter of all time. Having said that, it's difficult not to draw comparisons between Makhachev and his friend and training partner, Khabib Nurmagomedov. After all, they are both Caucasian wrestling heavy cardio machines that use the same strangulatory methods inside the cage with identical effects. In a short period, Khabib became an icon. His rise to stardom was unexpected but boosted greatly by his rivalry with Conor McGregor, who will play Makhachev's McGregor. Is it the Notorious himself? While the Dubliner recovers from a broken leg, Makhachev will look to reclaim the 155-pound title for Dagestan. Number 2. Tom Aspinall. Fans nowadays are willing to drool over Francis Ngannou's best UFC knockouts. Those same MMA heads may be drooling over Aspinall's best UFC stoppages one day in the not-too-distant future. If the Englishman has his way, there may be a few highlight reel submissions and knockouts worth a few replays. Aspinall is a giant standing 6'5" and weighing 247 pounds. Despite his stature, the man is technically superb and far from a one-trick pony. The Manchester-born monster holds a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and also has serious pop to his shots. Aspinall enters the year on a 7-fight winning streak, and he appears to be on track for a breakout year in the UFC in 2022. He is now ranked number 10 in the promotion and is just a few wins away from significant matches with the top heavyweights. Number 3. Muhammad Mokaev. Although comparisons to Khamzat Chimaev and Khabib Nurmagomedov are much too early, Mokaev is one of the best fighters to watch in the UFC in 2022. The Dagestan-born British is unbeaten as a professional, and at only 21, he is one of the UFC's youngest fighters and carries a lot of weight on his shoulders. Chimaev, who had a perfect amateur record, persuaded Mokaev to turn professional. His promotion to the paid ranks was expected to proceed smoothly, and it did. He is currently 6-0 in the regional circuit, but will be favored to improve that record before the end of the year. Mokaev will undoubtedly be a valuable addition to the promotion. If everything goes as planned, he might finish up as one of the best competitors in the UFC, positioned for a breakout year in 2022. Number 4. Jack Shore. Since joining the UFC in September 2019, Jack Shore, the former Cage Warriors bantamweight champion, has gone 4-0. In 2021, the Welshman went 2-0 with victories over Hunter Azure and Ludwig Scholinian. Shore's initial goal will be to break into the top 15 at 135 pounds. As things stand, he'll have to beat out Rafael Asuncao, Song Yadong, Ricky Simon, and Sean O'Malley before breaking into the official UFC rankings. Number 5. Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, who fights out of Alicante, Spain, is one of the best kept secrets among serious MMA enthusiasts, but don't expect him to be able to go under the radar for long. The first Georgian to earn a black belt in BJJ, the slick submission artist is also a creative striker with about as much flair as human flesh can pack. Topuria possesses all the characteristics of a potential champion. That's not to say he'll make it to the top, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him compete for UFC gold in the coming years. Number 6. Paddy Pimblett. Chael Sonnen seldom loses his cool with a fighter. The main fact here is that Pimblett is a fascinating fighter who will attract attention. This translates to more pay-per-view purchases and, as a result, a tastier piece of cheese for the UFC. With that in mind, they will not plunge him into the deep end just yet. so Pimblett might complete the year with a pair of victories over lower competitors. Number 7. Ian Gary. We began this ranking of the finest UFC fighters positioned for a breakthrough year in 2022 by contrasting Islam Makhachev with Khabib Nurmagomedov. On the other hand, some are drawing parallels between rising sensation Ian the Future Gary and a certain Conor McGregor. Nonetheless, Gary makes this list as the top UFC fighters set for breakout years in 2022 due to his qualifications. Although every Irish athlete who wins their first bout in the promotion would be compared to McGregor, there is genuine curiosity in the 24-year-old. He is not stuck in the SBG Ireland mindset with players like Henry Hooft and Kami Barzini behind him at Stanford MMA. He is his own man with his own thoughts about things, and these qualities have sparked the interest of many sports enthusiasts. Number 8. Khamzat Chimaev. Some, like Makhachev, may scoff at Chimaev for being labeled as one of the fighters set for a breakout year in the UFC. That's reasonable. But before you go all just bleed on me and start pelting your screen with the top of your tap-out shirt, consider the following. First and foremost, Chimaev is one of the UFC's brightest prospects right now. However, his professional trajectory has been slowed by reasons beyond his control. First, the epidemic hampered his path to the top, and a bad episode of COVID exacerbated an already dire condition. With a fight against former championship contender Gilbert Burns on the books, 2022 may be Khamzat Chimaev's year. This man is tremendously gifted, and I will light up any card he appears on. If Chimaev can defeat Burns convincingly, I don't think any UFC fan worth their salt would oppose his challenging Kamaru Usman. Usman is my UFC Fighter of the Year for 2021. He is the greatest in the promotion right now. Without creating a lame joke, a fight with the Nigerian Nightmare is the stuff of an MMA enthusiast's dream. Fighting only once in 2021, Boris reminded everyone not to underestimate him as he locked Li Jianliang in for one of the best UFC submissions of the year. Number 9. Song Yadong. When it comes to fighters expected to have breakout years in the UFC in 2022, no one is more worthy than Song. Despite being only 24 years old, the Kung Fu Monkey has already competed 24 times as a professional. He is 10-1-1 in his previous 12 fights and is coming off a shocking TKO headkick victory over Julio Arce in February. If he can continue to chip away at the opposition, he may be able to improve on his present position of number 14 in the UFC rankings. If I could choose his next opponent, I'd like to see Yadong take on Jack Shore. Both fighters are set to have breakout years in 2022, so why not make it happen? Number 10. Alex Pereira. I'll forgive newcomers to the sport for not knowing Alex Pereira, former Glory middleweight and light heavyweight champion. The Brazilian, who is still recognized as the top kickboxer on the planet in both divisions, is now focusing on becoming the UFC's next middleweight champion. Pereira has already defeated Adesanya. That was the only occasion in the last Stylbender's long combat sports career that he was parked. It was a terrible shot from Pereira, one that the Kiwi will never forget. While a middleweight title opportunity is unlikely, Pereira is one of the finest UFC fighters primed for a breakthrough year in 2022. In his promotional debut, Bo Atan stopped Andreas Michailidis with an amazing flying knee punches stoppage. Can Pereira work his way up the ranks and secure one of the most anticipated matches in UFC history? If he has 2022 in sight, the answer may be yes. Thank you for watching to the end. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe to this channel for more.